Hi, fourth graders. Today we're talking about Unit 8, Lesson 3. We'll be looking at something called a function. Now, a function actually uses what I like to call little robots or input-output machines. Now, these input-output machines help you complete these tables. So what we usually do is we have like this little robot that's programmed to do something. In this case, this one's programmed to subtract 9. So you input or put in a number. The program, the robot, does the action, so subtracts 9, and the output, or what the robot puts out, is the answer. So essentially, it just did 10 minus 9 to output 1. So now, let's say the robot did the same thing, but with the number 13. So it puts the number 13 in, subtracts 9, and you think about what would come out. Well, 13 minus 9, the output would be 4. Same thing with 16. If I put in 16 to the robot, subtract 9, what would come out? 16 minus 9 is 7. Now, if the robot put in 22, subtracted 9, it would end up with 13. Now, you may be asking yourself, where am I getting these numbers to start with? Well, the input numbers that we put into the robot are shown in this table below. So, each of these numbers I've been putting into the robot, doing the rule or the programming, subtract 9, to get the output or the answer. So the last one in that table is 25 as the input. We'll subtract 9 to find the output. 25 minus 9 is 16. On this next robot, it's actually a two-stepper. So it's had two robots with two different programs. So the first one is multiply by 4, and then we'll divide by 2. So it's a two-stepper. So if the input 1 is put in, multiplied by 4 first, so 1 times 4, that would give us 4, and then we put it into the second machine to divide by 2, the output would be 2. So what would come out in the very end? So we'll do the same thing for these other ones. So if I put in 7, multiply by 4 first, and then divide by 2, 7 times 4 is 28, divided by 2 is 14. Now they're putting in 20 into the machine, then times 4, and divided by 2. So 20 times 4 is magic zeros, 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 0, 80, and then divided by 2, because I still have to do that part. Oh, so the output would be 40. And the next one, they have 4. So they would be doing 4 times 4, and then divided by 2, since it's a two-step machine here. 4 times 4 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. And then 11 times 4, 11's the last one in our table, and the second step will be dividing by 2. Well, 11 times 4 is 44, and then 44 divided by 2 is 22. So this is probably more what you'll see today instead of seeing the really fun robots, but you can imagine that there's still a robot inputting numbers and applying the program or the rule, and then getting the output or answer. So the program here is to add 3, so we'll put in 1. Add 3 to it. 1 plus 3 is 4. The next one is 4. So if we put in 4 to the robot and added 3, so we're doing 4 plus 3, the output would be 7. Whoa, hold on. The robot malfunctioned, and now we don't have a number to input. But we do have the answer. Now, this is where using inverse operations comes in handy. Inverse operations is just a super fancy word for doing the opposite. So, if you already have the answer and you've got to put it back into the robot in order to get the input at the beginning, you have to do the opposite operation. So what I mean by that is, instead of adding 3 to 8, I actually will have to do 8, subtract 3 to figure out that missing input. So whenever you have the output, do the opposite operation to figure out the input. So that means 8 minus 3 would be 5. Well, would that work as the input there? It would, because 5 plus 3 would give me 8. So again, the robot malfunctioned. It's still not working properly, and it gave me the output again. So I'll just do the opposite operation. I'll just do 15 minus 3 to figure out the input, 12. So that would work, because 12 plus 3 is 15. Oh, finally, back in working order. So now it gives me the input. I just apply the rule, plus 3. 9 plus 3 is output 12. Yay! All fixed. So let's review some vocabulary on this page. A table is a way to display a function. Remember that this is a table. A function is a mathematical relationship that is shared by two sets of numbers, and a rule describes the relationship. So basically these numbers are best buds, and this is the rule here at the top of the table that helps us figure out how to get the input to become the output. So in this case, the input needs to subtract 1 so that the robot can put out the answer. So if this is 4, the rule is subtract 1. 4 minus 1, the output, the thing that will come out of the robot, is 3. Then a new input, let's say we put 2 into the robot, subtract 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Uh-oh, robot malfunction again. No more giving me the input. This time it gave me the output. Remember, we're going to use that opposite or inverse operation. So instead of subtracting 1, because I have the output, I'm going to add 1. So 8 plus 1. So that means the input would have been 9. Let's check. 9 subtract 1? Yes, that would give me 8. Okay, back in working order. Phew-da. So 5 subtract 1 gives me an output of 4. Oh no, the robot broke down again. So instead I'll do the opposite operation because you have to do the input minus 1. But if it already gives you the answer, we do the opposite operation, which in this case is adding 1 to figure out what was put in. It would have had to have been 1 because 1 subtract 1 is 0. Now sometimes you'll get some really fancy robots where they have 2 operations, like that one I showed you on the first page. So in this robot, it's programmed to multiply by 3 first and then subtract 1. So sometimes you'll get these fancy robots. So in this case, the first input is 1. So I'll do 1, put that into the robot, times 3 minus 1. Well, 1 times 3 is 3, minus 1 is 2 would come out of the machine. Next one. So I take input, the number is 2 in the table, times 3, and then subtract 1. So 2 times 3 is 6, minus 1, out would come a 5. On to the next part. The input is 6 times 3 minus 1, just applying the programming. 6 times 3 is 18, minus 1 is 17. All right, just a few more left to do. The next number in the table is 4. So we'll do 4 times 3 minus 1. All right, so now let's solve. 4 times 3 is 12. Minus 1 is 11. So that would be the output. And the last number in the table is a 7. So we would set it up as 7 times 3 minus 1. 7 times 3 is 21. Minus 1 is 20. Now, we come to the last skill I'm going to teach you today, where they give you the table, but you don't have to do any work, which is kind of nice. The robot's already finished it for us. We just have to figure out what the rule was and write it using words. Remember, the rule is basically what was the robot programmed to do. So this table shows the number of legs is a function of the number of dogs. So use the table to complete exercise 11. Okay, so looking at the number of dogs, if you have 1 dog, the number of legs is 4. 2 dogs, it increases. Oh, okay, so this makes sense. So basically the rule here is that for every dog that we have, you take that times 4 legs. So in order to write this rule using words, I would have to get my pencil here ready and say you would take the number of dogs times 4, using all words here, to equal the number of legs. Yay, that's exciting. Now, a shorter way to write this would be using an equation, which is what I'm going to show you in the next one. So the robot has already done all of the fancy work. All I have to do is use these variables, or remember letters in math, to write an equation to show what the robot was programmed to do. So in this case, it was taking the number of dogs times 4 to equal the number of legs, because 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 4 is 12, so on and so forth. So let's look at this one. This time, I see, okay, 1, and then we have 1 spider has 8 legs, so every spider we know has 8 legs. So you would have to take the number of spiders times 8 to figure out the number of legs. So that means S stands for the number of spiders, so I'd write that first. And then I would take S times 8. You remember every spider has 8 legs, so S standing for the number of spiders times 8 to equal, I'm going to do a cursive L, the number of legs. So way faster than writing it in word form, this is the equation form. Another way I could have written this is 8S. Remember that stands for multiplication when the letter and number are right next to each other. That means 8 times S equals the number of legs. Okay, kiddos, it is your turn to first complete the table. Uh-oh, the robot malfunctioned a couple of times, but that's all right. You've got it. You know how to do this. So complete this input-output table with a rule, add 5, and then take a look at these numbers, figure out what they're doing each time, what was the robot programmed to do, and then write an equation, just like I did with the spider problem, to show what they do to X to equal Y. X here representing the input, and Y here representing the output.